Hey, I'm Charting Man Dan. If you like this video, I encourage you to check out our website, TheChartGuys.com, home of technical analysis, learning, and education, where we broadcast live market coverage every morning, provide live chart consultation, and point out key levels on your favorite plays in our community chat room. Why not check out our free trial and join the best technical analysis community online?
Hey everybody, this is Charting Man Dan with a trade breakdown. Earlier in the week, we had EROS on watch for quite some time. Got an opportunity. It was my most profitable trade of the week, so I'm just going to break down what we were looking for, signs we saw that the bulls were going to show up, and how we played it. So this is the EROS 3-month daily chart, and I stopped it. This is after Wednesday of last week before the breakout occurred. So we started following EROS after this very oversold conditions and on this bounce. We had it on the watch list where every night I would update it with an annotated chart and a little bit of a paragraph describing what we were looking for. So that was on the watch list for a couple weeks. Once we saw the consolidation and the long hammer holding the 10-day moving average support, that was a good sign that we could see a higher low and eventually a higher high to continue the start of an uptrend after very oversold conditions. So what ended up happening, started watching it once that 10-day moving average support held, came up, we were rejected from the middle Bollinger Band resistance. The 10-day moving average support and the middle Bollinger Band got tighter and tighter, and although it eventually broke, we traded above it and then back below it, but really just straight across, shrinking range, shrinking volume. Those are the key definitions of a consolidation pattern. Higher lows, lower highs, and an ever-tightening range until we saw the break, which we will highlight here in a second. So you saw what the daily chart just looked like. Now we are going into Thursday of last week, and this is the 5-minute chart for EROS. So we had a bullish start to the day, bouncing off of the key supports. We had a lot of support here. The 100 period moving average was 922, the 200 period was 928, and the 20 period 926. So lots of support. We saw a bounce off of it, and that started a slow and steady uptrend. Notice there were no key volume spikes. This is something that I was watching at the start of the day, but certainly did not stand out as this is clearly going to be the break of the consolidation, time to get in. So we saw a continued upside. We saw a move all the way up to 973, which broke the high of the previous 2 days. Looking back at the daily chart, you can see that that would set a higher high. So this started piquing my interest. Okay, we've broken some highs. Time to start looking to see if this is for real or if we're going to consolidate down now. I saw that support on consolidation held the exponential moving average supports, and then we continued up, and then the volume started to pick up. So right now, I'm looking at this trade and saying, okay, this is the break of the consolidation. I missed my entry right there with that consolidation, so I got in at 990 on this little pullback candle after 2 volumes of increasing bullish volume, 2 candlesticks. So I got in at 990. I was a little hesitant to alert my entry because it was chasing in a bit of a sense, in the fact that it had already had a decent move today and not much consolidation below the exponential moving average supports. So I did get in. I wasn't very comfortable with the fact that I didn't get the entry point I wanted, but I set my stop loss at a reasonable level where if I were stopped out, it would be okay. I like to risk $100 on a trade is ideally the most that I will lose. So I set my stop loss down there and watched to see if the move and upside would continue. So after my entry, we saw an increase, the most volume on a 5-minute candlestick we had seen that day, and a new high of day. So it was certainly a good candlestick to enter on with the break of $10 there. That psychological resistance was also a level that concerned me. So we broke that and continued to head up. At this point, the RSI on the 5-minute chart was over 80. It hit a high of 83.44. So we knew we were getting overbought, and I locked in my profit at 1034. We saw a high up to 1036. So I got lucky in the sense that I timed my exit right around where the top was. And the reason I timed my exit at that point was because I liked the profit that I had saw on my trade. It was an amount that would have made my day, I could end my day right there and be happy with the gains that I saw. So I set my sell order up to that level, waited till the uptrend hit it. I was exited from the position with a profit that I was happy with, and from there we saw just consolidating straight across. So there was no resistance that I put my limit sell order underneath. It really was just liking the dollar amount, and like I said, I lucked out a bit with the fact that it was just under the high of the day. So after that bullish Thursday, this is what the daily chart looked like. increase in bullish volume. We broke the consolidation channel. We had a close above the $10 psychological resistance level. That's the first time that had happened on this bounce. You can see the lower highs that formed all had upper wicks pulling back from that level. So all systems appeared to be go. It looked like a swing trade initiation would be all set from here, and we'd see some higher highs, perhaps ride up above the upper Bollinger Band channel, currently 1066. But if we can see the trading that happened Friday, that is not the case, and we saw a red Marubozu where the bears controlled the entirety of the day. And one thing that I want to point out with the trading of ERS, watching it just out of, one of 15 tickers that I watch on my screen during the day, I could notice that the trading was a little choppy in the sense that the bid and ask would move very rapidly if any volume came in, whereas the last 2 days it was much more slow and steady. The increase in volume allowed for a much smoother bid and ask movement. One thing I want to highlight is on that 5-minute chart, thing that I did notice is on every pullback, a bid would show up and then bids would start to file in just above it. So it was very clear that people were trying to load the dip. Every time bids were filled, they were replaced with higher bids. So that was also something that piqued my interest. So we did see slow and steady increase in volume and price throughout that Thursday, and Friday it was the exact opposite. Slow and steady on the way down. It was a decrease in volume comparatively, but not by a whole much. We did lose the 10-day and middle Bollinger Band supports. So we are right back in the channel. What we are watching now for next week, after that trade had taken place, we had a low on this doji of 904. The low on Friday was 905. So that's a key support level we are watching. And resistance, we are now looking up at 1038, but we know the $10 psychological is going to be a tough level. And we're also looking at what this 10-day moving average 950 will be on Monday as well. So it could be another entry opportunity. This is a prime example of why I prefer to day trade. Locked in my profit on Thursday, was going to watch to see if there was continuation on Friday, and stayed out of that trade because the bears controlled the entire day. So certainly more comfortable being all cash at the end of the day, but it's a give and take because there's definitely swing play opportunities that get missed out on because of that selling before the end of the day. So where we stand with the EROS going into next week, watching for $9 psychological support to hold, and watching to see if these moving averages can be turned back into support. We are still in the consolidation channel. A bearish break won't happen until we close below $9, and then even then we'll have this higher low support all the way down at 811. So EROS will be in play for quite some time. It is definitely consolidating. The weekly chart is still not exactly oversold with the RSI, but you can see with that huge drop off from $30, seeing some consolidation and $10 resistance, there will definitely be some more upside in EROS in the near future. So thanks for watching. This is just a breakdown of how we utilize the watch list every night. There are many tickers that we see time and time again because of this exactly, waiting for the consolidation to break, stalking the trade, and letting the trade come to us, not entering and hoping for a bullish upside, but seeing that break in key resistance, seeing the volume coming in, and getting along for the ride. So thanks for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the chat room on Monday.